Welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. I'm Jen, and today is a beautiful day here in Southern Virginia. It's about somewhere between 65 and 70 degrees, and you can probably hear it in my voice because it is mid-February and our weather is acting like we are in mid-spring. And so all the allergies are flaring up, things are blooming. It's earlier than usual for that. Normally we've had a good snow, some really cold weather to kill off some things and to prepare us for the upcoming spring, but we haven't had that this year. So I'm really battling with a lot of allergy related symptoms. So I apologize if I sound a little off in this video or maybe several videos to come or in the past, because it's just been that kind of a season. But if you'll bear with me, we're going to make some bone broth in our Instant Pot today. It's so easy, y'all. I cannot believe I had put this project off for this long. So in keeping with our pantry challenge, that was one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to get out those frozen veggie scraps and that frozen chicken carcass and make that bone broth and make some other broths with that. And I've got a bunch of stuff in the freezer that I wanted to go ahead and get processed. And my refrigerator is deciding to make noises right now. So that's what you hear in the background. But I'm gonna show you how I made this bone broth. All right, so to make our bone broth, all we need is our Instant Pot. Now, you don't have to have an Instant Pot. You could do this on your stovetop. You could even do it in your slow cooker. And if you'll just, Google a recipe on how to make it in your slow cooker or on the stovetop, I'm sure it will be just as good as what we did here in our Instant Pot. So in your Instant Pot, all you're gonna do is just add in your bones. Now, I'm adding chicken bones. This is actually a leftover chicken carcass from a rotisserie chicken that we went ahead and got all the meat off of, and then I just stuck it back into the freezer until we could get time to make broth out of it, and today is that day. So all I'm doing is just putting that whole frozen chicken carcass into my Instant Pot, and then I'm going to take half a bag of some vegetable scraps that I've been saving probably for the last 9 months to a year in our freezer. So these are pieces that I cut off of our vegetables, that it might have been an onion that I didn't use, or the peeling of an onion, or the peeling of carrots. There's some ends of celery in there, just different vegetables, zucchini, probably some squash that it was just like the peelings from it or the ends that I cut off. And so I just put that in a Ziploc bag, threw it in the freezer, froze that, and that is what I'm going to use to put into the Instant Pot. So I'm going to get that right on top of that chicken, and then I want to add a little bit of salt and some black pepper. We'll get that added in. I'm also adding a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and then all you're going to do after that is just fill your Instant Pot up about 3/4 of the way with water, and you just want to cover your vegetables and cover those bones. Okay, next we're going to set our Instant Pot, and I'm going to use the manual setting here, but if you didn't have the manual button, you'll want to set your Instant Pot to high pressure, and we're going to let that cook for 120 minutes, so that's 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and set that for 120 minutes, and then our Instant Pot is going to come up to pressure, and then it will start to count down our time. All right, we let our bone broth natural release for a little bit longer than was suggested. Said you could let it naturally release for about 20 minutes, but I went ahead and just let it go for a little bit longer. I had some other things I was doing, so just going to open our vent up. You'll see that not a lot of steam is coming out because it's already released a lot of that pressure. So as soon as our pin falls there, we'll know the pressure is fully released, and we can open up our Instant Pot and check on this bone broth. Okay, let's see what we got here. Looks like underneath all this. So we're gonna drain, or strain, I should say, everything off, but you can see that broth looks really, really good. I bet it's gonna be rather tasty with all this seasoning. today. And this is a bread machine. This is actually the Hamilton Beach bread machine. And I don't know if I've updated you all or not, but you know, weeks ago, our oven went out. We couldn't use it to bake anything. Thankfully, we had a convection oven, and our microwave doubles as a convection oven, and it doubles as a, well, it's a convection oven, an air fryer, and a microwave all in one. And so I will link that in the description box below because a lot of you have been interested in that. So we love it. We've had it for probably a year now, and it has really come in handy, especially when we didn't have our oven and I had to use it to bake a lot of things. But my mom was kind enough to let me use her bread machine. Now, since then, I just didn't get around to making bread in the bread machine. Since then, our oven is back up and running. Thankfully, we thought it was a major problem because our oven is over 20 years old. And so we thought it might have been a heat sensor. Thought we were looking at getting a new one. We already have to get a new dishwasher because ours has completely died. But it turned out after further investigation that it was just the bottom heat element. And we even checked that at the beginning and did not think it was that. So I think it was an answer to prayer because I did not want to have to buy an oven and a dishwasher at the same time. So we have saved our oven for now, and I can make bread again in my oven. I've been using it to make lots of things, but I did not want to give the bread machine back to my mom without at least giving it a try. So I'm going to check it out today. We'll call this a Hamilton Beach bread machine review. Now, whenever I go to Goodwill or the thrift stores, they are, oh, I didn't start anything, did I? Okay. Oh, we don't want to start that yet. Ah, stop. Okay. Clearly. Ah, stop. How do I? Hello? Okay, I got it stopped. Clearly, I do not know how to operate this machine yet, but I have this book and I've been reading up on it. Anyway, like I was saying, and I put my hand here. If you go to Goodwill, you'll see, at least the Goodwills in my area, it seems like they always have a bread machine in there. And I guess people buy it with the intent of using it and then maybe they just never do. But if it does what it says it does, like bake a whole loaf of bread in 58 minutes, then this might be worth trying out. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna make a simple express white loaf of bread recipe. It's a 2-pound loaf. And it says it will knead and bake in an hour's time. So it's about 4 o'clock. We do have church tonight. So I knew that this was kind of late to start a project, but I wanted to see what it would do because I do want to give it back to my mom this week. So we are going to, apparently, if you have a bread machine, you're like, yes, Jen, this is exactly how you do it. But apparently you just put all your ingredients in this little container and then you just hit a button and it kneads the bread and makes the bread, bakes the bread. So I'm interested to see this little thing in action. All right, so I read that it's really important to add the ingredients the way that it's listed because you want to add your liquids first and then your dry ingredients. So the first thing we're going to add is 1.5 cups of warm water. I'm going to go ahead and set the cycle that we want, which is going to be cycle 7. And so you'll see that there. So cycle 7. And then what you do is you hit start when you're ready to start adding your ingredients. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add our 1.5 cups. Oh, whoops, we didn't hit start. All right, our 1.5 cups of warm water. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt to that. This is 1/4 cup of sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of dry milk, which I did happen to have on hand in my pantry downstairs. So we'll get that added in. Now we're going to add in 4 cups. Actually, it's 4.5 cups of flour. So I need to get another 1/2 cup. Another 1/2 cup. And then next we're going to add 1 tablespoon of our instant yeast. I'll get you closer and let you see what's going on in here. I probably should have showed you the inside of the machine, but it's got a little paddle down in the bottom. And so that is what's actually kneading the dough. This is really, really neat to watch. Now, I have a feeling that this loaf of bread is going to be quite a bit smaller than what we're used to making, but it will be fun just to try it out and do something new and different. Okay, so one thing I actually realized that was a mistake, and hopefully it won't cause any issues, but when I was reading the instructions, I thought I was supposed to go ahead and hit the start stop button before I added the ingredients or while I was adding the ingredients. Because I thought, see that step 2, I thought I'd just go down here to step 3, but I didn't realize that step 2 goes all the way across and then step 3 goes all the way across. So that was my mistake. I was supposed to go ahead and add the ingredients and then hit the start stop button, which makes complete sense. But I didn't do that. So we missed probably a good 3 minutes where it was not kneading the entire, like it wasn't kneading all the ingredients. It was kneading like the water and stuff. So that was my mistake, but you know, that's how we learn, right? I mean, it's my first time using this machine. And anyway, hopefully it won't make a difference. We'll see what the finished product turns out like. So it's got 52 more minutes left. And while that is going, I think I'm gonna wash some dishes because I am still without a dishwasher, and so I am washing dishes, which, you know what, it hasn't really been that bad, except for my hands have stayed kind of dry. I did get some gloves, but I got them a little small, I think, and so I have a hard time washing the dishes with the gloves on. So I'm trying to just be good about using lotion and keeping my hands moisturized after I wash the dishes, and I'm trying to only wash dishes maybe like once or twice a day. But that being said, I'm not going to be fixing dinner tonight other than this, and I've got the bone broth that we made. I had intended to make this into like a chicken noodle soup because I thought that would be good for the allergies and stuff going on, but I didn't have what I needed. Well, I was just gonna, because it's Wednesday night, I tried to do something really quick since we have church, and I was just going to do like that Bear Creek pack of chicken noodle mix. And I didn't realize that it wasn't chicken noodle mix that I had on hand. I've actually got cheddar broccoli and potato, which would be great, except for I just wasn't feeling that tonight. And I was thinking like grilled cheese and chicken noodle soup, you know, the bread that we make. So what I did was I had just a mug of the bone broth, which was delicious. And then we had some rice in our refrigerator, some leftover vegetable fried rice that we needed to use up. And I added a little bit of the bone broth, kind of like to bring that rice back to life, and had that for lunch. It was so, so good. So I don't know that I'll be eating before we go to church, and I'm not gonna cook because I said all that to say we have lots of leftovers in our fridge. We've got leftovers from our Super Bowl celebration that we had, and then I made pizza last night, so we got leftovers. Anyway, we got food we need to eat. So I'm gonna take the night off from making dinner. I'm gonna get these dishes going, and then I might actually have a minute or two to sit down and do some editing before it's time to run to church. All right, beeper went off, so we're gonna see what we got here. Oh, come closer. Let's see. It says to put on an oven mitt before you lift the basket out. Oven mitt. Okay. Alrighty, lift it out. So that's what it looks like. It does look like it's cooked. It's very light in color. But Ella actually had a loaf of bread that my mom made at her house with this. And she said it was one of the best loaves of bread she's ever had. So I'm excited to try it. But for 58 minutes, it did all that work and made a loaf of bread. So that's pretty exciting. Let us see. It's supposed to just shake it and it comes out. Well, look at that. All right, so I did notice that it didn't mix up very well on this side. So this is actually like a lot of flour that we'll just have to trim off. But yeah, that was probably my fault because I started the machine before getting all the ingredients in there. But now we know. We might just have to try again because I don't like to mess up. So I have to try again. We probably should let it cool before we cut into it. Or should we? I think you're supposed to let it sit for 10 minutes. I don't follow directions very well. Ooh, I just wanted to see the inside of it. Oh man, y'all. That looks really good. I don't know, I'm surprised. I didn't realize that it was going to be that nice size of a loaf. But that looks pretty good. So I might have to just keep it a little bit longer. Make me a couple of different loaves of bread. I saw some really neat recipes in that little book. But that's what that looks like. So we might just have ourselves a little treat this afternoon. Got some honey we can put on it, some apple butter. So not bad for our first try. Not bad at all. Well, I tried twice to film an outro outside, but every time I would go out there, I just kept sneezing. So apparently I need to stay inside today. So I'm just gonna film it in front of the door so you can see what a beautiful evening we're having. The sun's going down. It's just been gorgeous today. But I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each one of you. And I hope that you enjoyed today as I learned a couple of new things in the kitchen. But what I wanted to say first and foremost is how much I appreciate each one of you. We are getting ready to hit a pretty big milestone on this channel, and I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, which blows my mind. I'm so humbled and just grateful, honored that you all would take time to be a part of my journey here on YouTube. And it just means so much to me every time you comment. And I'm really enjoying this journey so far. And I look forward to what lies ahead. So if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, make sure you do that. Hit the like button on this video. Share it with your friends if you want. Until next time, remember to live simply, use what you have, and enjoy the moments you've been given. I will see you in the next one.